Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Warrior Report here on HBC TV 25. We're brought to you by Cost Cutters of Winona. I'm Justin Barrientos. Thanks for joining us. Joined by Joe Getson, the head coach at Winona State for volleyball. And, you know, last week when we were taping, you were heading into the Concordia St. Paul match. They were number 5 in the country at the time, and you pull off. Is it fair to say it's an upset? Because, I mean, you're a very good team this year, obviously.
Well, you know, if you go by the rankings, it might be an upset, but, you know, we knew going in that we were going to have a great match against them. So, you know, I don't really like to look at it as an upset.
Sure.
You know, something that we expect.
First win over Concordia St. Paul since 2015, which is obviously a good thing as well. Dropped the first set, but then came back to win the next 3. So what was the mentality of the team after that first set?
Well, I thought even in the first set, we did some things that kind of gave them some points they didn't deserve, and kind of gave them that first set, handed it to them a little bit. But I thought the kids did a great job of making small adjustments and then staying mentally focused. You know, something that we really work a lot is the mental part of the game, and being able to execute your little task that we give you. And I thought the kids did a great job doing that. You know, came out and played really well.
Well, Concordia St. Paul came into the match allowing just a 187 percentage. You hit 317, which is obviously really good. Is that coaching? Is that the players finding holes?
I wish it was coaching, because then I could do it all the time. Yeah, right. You know, no, I think they just performed. You know, executed a couple things, and that's all it takes, you know what I mean? And when they get that little bit of confidence, we've talked all season on how good we are, that we can compete at that level, and we've shown that on a couple other matches. We just didn't come out on the winning side. And this time we just executed a little bit higher level. Okay,
and then how did the team react to winning that? Is this a big thing for them, or is this just business as usual?
No, it's a big thing. I mean, when you don't beat a team like Concordia, and Concordia has such history and, you know, an era about them, and rightfully so with what they've accomplished. So I think going out there and being able to do that, I'm glad it didn't go to the 5th set, which we kind of toyed with, let them back in a little bit in that 4th one, but then took care of business, because if they're in a 5th set, they believe they're going to win. And obviously they've won enough national championships. They have those banners hanging in the gym. So it was really good to see us put them away in 4.
All right, so congratulations on that win. Then you go to Northern. You're on the road at Northern and unfortunately dropped that. What did you see in your team?
Well, actually, it was a good test for us. Northern is a huge gym. They just put in a 4-sided scoreboard. It's a great venue. And they were the #1 team, preseason pick by the coaches to win it all. They have a lot of talent, a lot of seniors, and they played well. And even in that first set, we were serving 23-23, and we ended up losing 25-23, but we were right there point for point with them. And to us, that showed us that even at that level, we can compete. You know, the scores don't show it, but I thought we were competitive with them. We just gave up a couple runs here and there that we know we can clean up. But we did some things against us that they're going to have to adjust to next time we see them, and vice versa. But I think that's a great barometer to let us know, and that's what we talked about after the match was just, you know, okay, that's the standard now. Now we've got to go do that, and, you know, we have a team that we're playing the next night that can be dangerous. They take a game off of Concordia or Upper Iowa the night before, and their place is always kind of weird. They have some nice athletes. So we went in and really took care of business, and to me, that really shows the growth of the team.
Yeah, that's Minnesota State Moorhead. You got a sweep in that one, which was your 8th sweep of the season. That's pretty impressive as well.
Well, you know, sometimes that sounds good, but sometimes they could be 25-23 games, or, you know, this time we really kind of took care of business and blew them out a little bit. So we got some people, some playing time, you know, and the level didn't drop off with some of the kids coming off the bench. And to me, that's crucial to gain that experience.
All right. Megan Flom continues to have an incredible season. Again, Offensive Player of the Week in the NSIC. Kind of put into context for us her season so far. It seems to be
well,
pretty
it's pretty
impressive.
magical right now. You know, I started her the season on the outside. I thought we needed a little bit of help out there. She transitioned then over to the right side and back into her natural position of being a middle. And right now she's just killing it. And Northern even triple blocked her. out of the middle, and she still hit over 500. So that slowed her down a little bit. We'll make some adjustments to that so they can't put that kind of pressure on her. But she just is so consistent with that, and that's the neat thing, is now we can rest, kind of plan for that happening and then go to some other people.
All right, explain the triple blocking. That sounds like that leaves holes somewhere else that she can find, or even somebody else can find.
Well, there's not many holes. They just punch everyone together, and there's 3 people standing in front of you trying to block you. She did find some holes, obviously. She's tall enough that she can go over blocks sometimes, so she has some variety of shots that she uses. But what that should do for us is we've got to take advantage of that and start getting some more production out of some of the other hitters by speeding that up to them. And that way they should be, 1 or no blocks on them.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the polls then, because then you were able to rise in the poll up to number 17 now this week. I know that's not something that you want to focus on, but in the NSIC, you have those 10 teams. I believe 8 of them actually in the top 25 and 2 receiving votes below that. But as you rise, that seems to maybe put a little bit more of a target on you. People say, okay, now you're for real.
Well, yeah, and I think the NSIC knows that Winona State's for real. I mean, we've been successful long enough that we're no longer that underdog. Mm-hmm. People play well against us, especially those teams below, because they feel like we might be one they could get. So that's why it was so good to see on Saturday us take care of business and not give Moorhead a chance to even get into the match. And we've got to do that, this weekend, as we have Minot Mary coming here. Same type of teams. They've got some good players on there. You've got to step up and play your type of ball. And to us, that's the challenge.
All right. Now, in the wrap-ups that we've seen, it's kind of the same names over and over again. And obviously, you said you were able to get some more players into the rotation. Who are some players that we're not talking about that are having really good seasons this year?
Well, I think Sarah Suits, I know she's been on the show, but she's just really stepping up from a defensive standpoint. Our back row is playing very well. That's Becca Pagel as the libero, Sarah, Casey Volkman, Eliza Dolly came in and put in some great minutes for us and helped win a couple matches for us. Corey has been coming in and off the bench, Madison Larson. We played McKenna Yoger for the first time with some, more points, shall we say. And she came in and had 3 big blocks. And, we did lose a player at Northern to an ACL. Kaylee Beeler looks like she blew a knee. Just kind of one of those volleyball things. Didn't land on anyone, just landed wrong. So McKenna now becomes a little bit more of play a bigger role for us. So, the whole team, as Corey alluded to, or will allude to, is that our gym is so competitive. We have, we started the season with 17 players, and it's hard to put a ball down in our gym. So a lot of times it's very similar to what we see from a defensive standpoint especially. So it's exciting in our gym.
All right. Well, good luck against Marion Minot this week.
Thank you.
All right. We'll take a break here on Warrior Report. When we come back, Corey Myers will join us right after this.
Perfect.
Perfect. Perfect.
Getting the right look at the right price
Perfect.
is always in style at Cost Cutters.
Located in the professional building in the Winona Mall, 507-454-6030.
Get ready to rock the block. 4 top designers, 4 suburban homes. The renovation showdown is on.
This is my turn.
I don't like to lose.
This is gonna be fun.
I'm gonna crush the competition.
It's time to rock the block. Rock the Block. Series premiere Monday, October 21st at 9 on HGTV.
And welcome back to the Warrior Report here on HBC TV 25. We're brought to you by Cost Cutters of Winona. Corey Myers joins us. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Now we want to go back to your high school days for just a minute and find out a little bit about who you were before you came to Winona State. You went to Nicollet High School in the Milwaukee area?
Yep, in the North Shore, Nicollet. Yeah.
Okay, Nicollet,
yeah,
sorry.
The T silent.
Yeah.
Tricks people.
Yeah, Nicollet in Minnesota, but Nicollet in Wisconsin. All right, let's find out about your volleyball career there. You're a two-time MVP of your high school team, correct?
Yeah.
Do you have any memories of your high school team, anything that stands out?
My high school team, our program was unbelievably close, and our coach, Dan Jacobson, made it that way, and the girls that were in the program and he chose for the team were just amazing people. So I feel like for me in high school, it's more of the people rather than the sport, which is really awesome.
Okay, and anything as a team then stand out? Any playoffs or anything like that? Any big games that happened?
We always lost. We won regionals 6 years in a row, one before I came and one after I came. But then the next round we always lost. We made it to 5 once, but couldn't quite push it there.
Okay,
so,
but individually you did have success. I know you don't necessarily want to talk about that, but 1,000 kills, over 1,000 kills during your career, which was only the third time in school history that a volleyball player had reached that. Were you aware of that? And if you were, what's your reaction to that?
I knew I got 1,000 kills, but I didn't know I was one of 3. I thought it was more than that because we had some really good good girls going through the program. But that's pretty cool that only 3 others, or 2 others. Yeah.
We tend to tell people about that. They're not aware of that, and I'm kind of surprised about that. So when you saw Corey, or in the recruiting process, what were some of the things that stood out for you?
Well, Corey's just such an all-around player and has such a great skill set on all the skills. So, from a young age, and we started recruiting her and seeing her when she was a sophomore playing in the club scene, we knew that she had that potential to come and play at this level. So, and this is who Corey is, very humble and doesn't take any kind of credit for anything she does, but, she's a big part of the success that we're having.
All right, briefly about your club days. Milwaukee Sting was your club program. How long were you with them?
I was only with Milwaukee Sting for 1 year.
Okay.
My developing days, I guess, were with Wisconsin Juniors, and that was my 14th through 16th, and that's when Coach saw me. And then I switched to a more local club, and then I went to Sting. So.
Okay, and what are the differences between all of those different organizations?
I played for Wisconsin Juniors when I was 14, and that really changed me to push me, and they had very elite players. Like, everyone was going to be a college prospect or looking at colleges, versus more local programs are like, oh, girls just like to play volleyball for fun. But I knew I wanted to play in college, and he gave me that opportunity.
All right, we always talk about that transition then from high school to college, and you made that very well. You started 23 out of 24 matches as a freshman. How was that transition from you to the college game?
It was a big jump. It was playing 3 out of 5 games instead of 2 out of 3 in all of club and high school, and all the girls every practice pushing you at a high level every practice. And the drills coach runs a camp, and the drills are just like the camp, but the girls are not like the camp. They really push you, and it's really part of the atmosphere that's in our gym every day.
All right, and then let's talk a little bit about this season. It's been a very special season. Your thoughts on how the team has done this year?
I just sometimes have no words for how we perform. It just comes out of the fire in everyone. And I know everyone has it within, and especially the girls who were here last year, to see the difference. And it's so much fun seeing the energy that even the bench we have and the court has every single match.
All right, and talk about the competition day in and day out. It seems like there's really no breaks. Every team in the conference is tough, and even your preseason were tough.
Yeah, I was actually just texting my parents about how 8 of our teams are in the top 25. I'm like, that is crazy. Every game is just so exciting, and even when they're not a ranked team, they can still push us. Like, Minot took a set off of Concordia, and we talk about in practice how we're going to play, like we're playing Northern and SMSU and Duluth every time we play a team.
All right, and last question about the Concordia game. Tell me your reaction to how the team did against the number 5 team in the country.
We responded. The first set, like, we could have easily rolled over and we could have easily just given them that game, but we didn't. And there were times, I actually just rewatched it last night, and there were times we were down and we just kept fighting. And we talked about keeping it calm, and there definitely was a calm confidence on the court that I really noticed.
All right. Well, thank you for being here today, and good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you for having me.
All right. We're going to take a break here on the Warrior Report. When we come back, we'll talk women's soccer. That's coming up right after this.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Perfect. Getting the right look at the right price.
Perfect.
Is always in style. At Cost Cutters.
Located in the professional building in the Winona Mall, 507-454-60.
The Big 12 is not for the weak. You face Red River shootouts and destructive cyclones, with Cowboys and Longhorns ready to take you down. Every week, you fight or surrender. Win or lose, you do. Or you don't. There is no other choice. Big 12 football on FS1,
Or watch anywhere on the Fox Sports app.
And welcome back to the Warrior Report here on HBC TV 25. We're brought to you by Cost Cutters of Winona, and Matt Kellogg joins us to talk women's soccer. Thanks for coming back here.
Always a pleasure.
All right, it's been a little while, a couple weeks since you've been on here, so you've played 4 games since the last time that you've been on the show. Your thoughts? I know that you're 1-3 in those 4 games, but your thoughts on how the team has done those games?
Yeah, I think starting off with Augustana, number 1 in the conference. They're on like a ridiculous 9-game winning streak at this point. Very tough, and I think that game it was just they capitalized on a few moments. I think in the run of play, I think things were pretty even, but that's why they're on top of the conference, because they were able to capitalize on those moments. And obviously the weather, we were playing a blizzard basically for half the game. That didn't help things, but Augie is very good. They're very well coached and disciplined, and I think that's what you have to do is take care of your chances and really minimize the other team's chances.
According to the wrap-up that I read, it said that you were aggressive early as you put a lot of shots on goal in the first couple of minutes of the game. Is that kind of generally the way that you play, to be that aggressive that early on, or is that kind of the way you played against Augustana?
No, it's quite honestly, we go right after every single team we play. We don't hold back. We're not scared of anybody. And the thought is, if we can put the pressure on them early and get that early goal in the first 5-10 minutes, that really changes the whole landscape of the game. And as you said, we had a lot of shots early, just unfortunate that we didn't put any away. And then Augustana was able to kind of work their way back into the game.
All right, so then after that, you play Wayne State, and you dropped that one 2-1. Tell us a little bit about what happened in that game.
Well, I think they have a pretty unique style of play. They have a forward up top that's extremely dangerous. I'll go on record as saying she's probably one of the best forwards in the conference. But I think our team did a very good job of minimizing her and keeping her kind of at bay. But it was just one of those. It was an early goal. It was an unlucky goal from distance that we let in. We didn't put enough pressure on it, and the wind kind of held it up. And all of a sudden, our goalie's trying to track a flighted ball that's kind of moving on her, kind of a knuckleball, and it went in, and that kind of took the winds out of our sails for a little bit. But to our team's credit, to our leaders' credit, we kind of rallied the troops and fought back. Pulled a goal back, but we're unfortunate to give up a goal pretty quick right after that.
All right, and then kind of moving on to the more recent games against Minnesota Duluth. Ortiz had a shutout in that game, so that was obviously a good bounce back for you.
Yeah, we talked to, going into that weekend that she needed to play aggressive, be that goalie, that voice that our defense needs and can rely on, and she did a great job of that. Our team across the board, we just fought tooth and nail the entire match, and it wasn't pretty at times, but who cares? we walked away with the victory, and was really proud of our team on that performance, just on their grittiness.
Yeah, it's 7 saves for her in that game in the second half, 8 saves total. So kind of tell us your philosophy then for, how you want your defense to play, and is there a goal of how many shots you want to allow during a game?
Well, we don't really set a mark because that's number driven. I want our kids to play regardless who it is, regardless of situation. We want to play the very consistent style of defense. So we don't really set a number per se week in and week out. It's more about that mindset, kind of the process, not the result. And we just want them to be aggressive. And we're a unit back there. There's 4 of us, and one's going to step to the ball, and the other 3, we basically have your back if something goes wrong, and we're covering for you.
All right. And then St. Cloud was after that, and that was kind of an interesting game because you kind of fell behind early and had to come back in that one, or try to make a comeback in it. Ended up a goal short.
Yeah. So at the 18-minute mark, we're up 1-0. And then we get a red card, and it's
your first of the season.
To be quite honest with you, Justin, I think it's my first ever. Okay. As a coach. I don't think I've ever had a player get a red card, and by no means was it malicious. There was no fighting. There was no intent to hurt or anything like that. It was just the kids got their legs tangled up, and it just happened to be the forward was in front of our defender, and it was a goal-scoring opportunity. And the ref, in his discretion, thought that it was a red card, and it was kind of that gray area. Okay, I can see that. I don't like it, but it wasn't such an egregious call that I, was going to argue and get myself tossed out going for it. But we fought back. We had to reorganize our system, and we went into halftime 3-1 down, and then we fought back. And I thought if you look at the tape, I think we controlled most of the second half, being a number down. So very, very proud of the players and the way they just fought tooth and nail for the result.
You brought up something that I kind of want to ask now. So how vocal are you on the sidelines? What are you saying? Because I know that in soccer you can't really say much, and so
vocal with the refs or our players?
How about both? Let's start with the refs.
The refs, I've learned over the years that if you're just constantly chirping, they just tune you out. You become that white noise, that fridge in the background. And I've actually had refs tell me, like, you haven't said anything all game, so when you pipe up, it makes me think, okay, I got to reevaluate. So I think there's some of that gamesmanship in there. With the players, we try not to coach on the ball. We talk to them about tactics away from the play, so when they're on the ball, they can just focus. But ask any of our players, and 90% of them tell you that they can't even hear me out there anyways. The wind, my voice doesn't carry, or they just tune me out. So when I'm talking on the sideline, it's more for my benefit than theirs.
Okay. Last couple of minutes in this segment, and you have a very interesting stretch coming up. 5 games left in the season. 4 of them are at home, and you're kind of fighting for your playoff lives. You're tied for the 8th and final playoff spot in the NSIC. Tell us what's in store for these last 5 games.
Well, we want to make it interesting. We want to make every game count so the fans come out and, they're not going to see us just mail it in because we've already locked in a spot. So, no, we had a couple games that tripped us up early. I think this stretch suits us very well with who's traveling to us and where we have to go to. So I think it's a very favorable schedule for us to make that run. And, do you want to win your games early and then lose right before you go into the playoffs, or lose a couple early and then kind of hit this stretch? And I think that's what our season is shaping up for. Is I think we're going to win 4 or 5 out of these last 5 and hit the playoffs kind of on the upswing, which anytime you go into postseason play, you want to have momentum going in.
Is Southwest kind of the key game because you're tied with them for 8th right now?
Right now, I think this weekend coming up is going to settle a lot of things going forward. But yeah, Southwest, obviously, they're a team that we're keeping an eye on for sure.
All right, so you play Friday and then Sunday, or Friday at 6 p.m. and then Sunday at noon, both home games.
Yeah.
All right, well, hopefully people come in and watch you play.
Thanks.
All right, we're going to take a break here on Warrior Report. Georgette Zapalis will join us right after this.
Perfect.
Perfect. Perfect.
Getting the right look at the right price
Perfect.
is always in style at Cost Cutters.
Located in the professional building in the Winona Mall, 507-454-6030.
And welcome back to the Warrior Report. Georgette Tsoupalos is here. Thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Now, you're a junior, but we want to go back to your high school days because we haven't had a chance to talk to you yet. You're from Buffalo Grove High School in Arlington Heights, Illinois. Tell us a little bit about your college career because you had a great honor, Chicago Tribune Northwest Athlete of the Year in 2017. How would you kind of summarize your high school career?
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome. I played 2 sports in high school, so I played basketball and I played soccer. So, I mean, I was definitely leaning more towards basketball, I would say, in high school because I just, loved the game. I loved everything about it. But later on, I just decided that soccer was the way to go because I was just getting recruited more for that. And I just love the game, and my dad, I just wanted to follow in his footsteps because he was a really good soccer player in high school. So it was just awesome getting recognized for everything in high school. So yeah.
All right. Well, you were very successful in soccer, which is kind of funny to hear that you're leaning more towards basketball.
Yeah.
But 26 goals and 10 assists in your career in high school. I mean, what really was that tripping point? Was there a moment where you said, these recruits are coming in, I guess maybe, was there a change in your maybe junior or senior year where maybe you focused a little bit more in on soccer because you were getting those recruit calls?
I mean, I wouldn't say that, but I just think the game of more of soccer, you have to work so much harder in soccer to actually win the game than basketball. You could just be having a bad game and you miss a lot of shots, but in soccer you can just impact the game in so many other ways that basketball can't.
Okay.
So.
What were your first thoughts when you saw Georgette and saw what she had to offer for the team?
Tireless worker, and will try and get on the end of every flighted ball. So she to me was a clear option for us to put as our kind of center forward, somebody that we can target on all of our free kicks and goal scoring opportunities.
All right. Your thoughts on coaching changes and how that changes your game with Coach Kellogg coming in?
I mean, it wasn't that different. Coming in, I was recruited by someone that I never even had. So, I mean, it was a lot to handle at first, but I thought Matt did a really good job of just getting us back into swing. And, we all came together, and I don't think that really affected us in any way.
All right. I got to ask you about something that I saw that you said this year to the Chicago Tribune. You think the Winona State team is better because you have a lot of Illinois players on the team. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I mean, this summer, there's 5-6 of us that live in the same area, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And we always got together 3 to 4 times a week just to run and just practice and stuff. And we played on the same summer team as well. So I think that just really helped build our chemistry and confidence coming into the season.
All right. You are the leading scorer and leading points total person on the Winona State team. You scored 2 goals against Northern Michigan. Would you consider that to be your best game? I know that goal numbers don't necessarily reflect when you think you played your best game, but
that's a tough question. I wouldn't say that was my best game, but Taylor Johnson played me 2 perfect balls that I got in the end of. So, I just think I get in the right places at the right time, and my teammates just play me the ball perfectly. So, I wouldn't say that's my best game. I don't know what game yet.
Okay, this might be kind of an elementary type soccer question, but how do you decide when you're going to shoot? Is it when you have an open look? Is it when you have a good angle? What are some things that go through your mind when you're about ready to shoot?
Usually I try to turn my defender is when I like to shoot the most. And yeah, when I have a lot of space in front of me and there's no one that's really coming to attack me. So yeah, that's basically it.
Okay. As we said, 4 of the last 5 games are at home. How important is it to have that kind of a schedule where you're going to be home, not have to go on the road for the last couple games?
Yeah, it's awesome. We usually play our best at home, so I'm kind of happy that we do get these last 4 games at home because these are really big games for us, and we all want to just play for the seniors and try to get into the playoffs.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us here today, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for joining us here on Warrior Report. We'll see you next time here on TV 25.